Hi, everyone. It's me, Krylios, Team Racing Productions MC and producer. And joining me today, all the way from Arizona, I have with me Jeffrey Metrick. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
It's so great to have you here with us today. And I want to just kick this off with having you introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, to everyone who may not know me, my name is Jeffrey Metrick. I'm running for Congress out here in Arizona as the only Libertarian running on the federal level in Arizona. And actually, it's now CD1 since they redrew the districting maps. I've actually moved districts, even though I'm still in the same place. So now it's most likely going to be CD1. And I really want to start running because it's just so important that we come together as a country, because both parties have done a horrible job of bringing us together. They keep us divided. They keep us one against another. And it's like, no. And so that's why my slogan has always been people over party. Because if me and you agree on something, you want more freedom, you want more control over your life, you want more autonomy in your life, I'm your candidate. If you don't want more autonomy, I'm not the candidate for you. Because I'm going to be fighting to give you that autonomy, because I don't know what's best for your life. I don't know how to manage your life. It's not my job to do that. My job is to create a playing field that is equal for everyone, and then it's on you to succeed in your own life, because only you can determine your success. No one else can do that for you.
Certainly. Well, talk to me about why this year, why this cycle, you have decided that you're going to run, and especially for Congress in the 6th Congressional District. So let's talk about that. Why are you running for this position and this year?
Because right now this country is more divided than ever. You have people factionalized between Democrats and Republicans, and this is a perfect time for a libertarian third party to step in. And I have that ability that I can talk to both Republicans and Democrats, and I actually get to see we have more in common than what we have divided us, which the media does a great job at. And I want to bring people together. I want to build that coalition that can truly allow people to have that freedom that they really want. Because the more people I talk to in my district, the more people I talk to across the country, Republican, Democrat, they want freedom, and they're tired of their parties, Republican and Democrat, going, oh, we're going to give you more freedom. No, we're not. We're going to just do it in such a way that we keep more power for ourselves, and we never fix real issues. Because if the Democrats or Republicans ever actually fixed issues, they would not get elected again, because they need to keep a constant thing going of, oh, we have this issue, we have this issue. I have issues that I want to fix, and once they're fixed, it won't be problems anymore with it, because it'll be a final, finished idea that goes, oh, this works now. We don't have to go, oh, we're going to do half measures, because half measures never get anything done but keep people dependent on the same system that put them in that position in the first place.
And speaking of issues, I wanted to get into that. What are those top issues that you're really, really concerned about, and if elected, you try to address, immediately?
First one is criminal justice reform. We need to have civil asset forfeiture needs to be done away with completely. For those of your viewers who may not know what civil asset forfeiture is, it's basically, let's say you're driving and you have $10,000 in cash on you. The police can pull you over for tail light, registration light, anything, victimless crime. They see us in plain sight. They can say it's because of illicit activities and confiscate the money. They don't have to convict you of a crime to do that. They just take your money. And it's on you. The burden of proof falls on the person whose money was stolen to prove that it was not illicitly gotten. And that takes time, and that costs more money. So most people just take the L and give the government $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, like happened in Dallas a couple of weeks back, tax-free. So we need to have that removed on a federal level. All victimless crime laws need to be repealed. No victim, no crime. Because who are you really hurting if your taillight's out? Who are you really hurting if you are sitting in an apartment with a bunch of your friends smoking weed? Who are you hurting? Who's the victim in this crime? Is there one? No, that's a legitimate question. Is there a victim? Or is it what you chose to do to yourself because you're 18, you have full autonomy at 18, which we've statutorily set up in this country? We need to decriminalize marijuana and not legalize it because soda is legal and kids can go and get it. We want to decriminalize it to where if I have a pound of weed with me, no one cares because it's for my personal use. And even though you're going to sell it. Yeah, if I sell it, it's a voluntary transaction. I'm not putting a gun to someone's head saying, you're going to smoke this. If you want it, I will sell it to you. Transactional. That's it. There's no force, no coercion, which I'm ardently against. I don't believe in forcing or coercing people to do anything because good ideas don't require force, do they? And that will get rid of an incentive to police for profit. That's one of the things I want to work on is getting rid of this policing for profit. And I have even a further idea that because police have a monopoly on the use of force, which the police are sponsored by the state, I'm actually for letting private security companies come in and be deputized and have them compete, because when you have two companies competing against each other, what do? They have to offer a better product, right? Better service at a better price and make the consumer happy. But in a monopoly, you don't have that ability. So if two companies are competing, or 3 or 4 or 5 companies are competing for a security contract for Phoenix for a year, they're going to hire the best quality people, have the best service at the best price, because there are 4 other companies that are trying to beat them. But when you have only one game in town, like you do with police, which I think sometimes police do a great job, but I want to have them have competition, because when you have competition, what happens when you have a starting quarterback? You have 2 starting quarterbacks. You have them have a contest, right? Whoever wins the starting job. Brings out the best in everyone and brings out the best in the team. But competition needs to happen. We don't have a society that promotes competition in the public sector, not the private sector. The private sector has competition. The public sector really doesn't. And we just have so much, and this also goes into reforming the bureaucracy, because I believe in helping people. I believe people need to be fed, clothed, and sheltered. But you don't have a right to steal from other people through taxes that they don't get really a choice to voluntarily pay. And it goes into a bureaucracy, and you have people that make $500,000, $200,000, and we're talking people at different levels and going across making this amount of money. Look at the budget. When you put over $1 billion or several $1 billion into like the FDA food programs, how much of that actually goes to the people? Not a lot. Now think what you could do if everyone said, you want to know something? Because I believe inherently people are good. I believe that if they see someone in distress, they will help them. I help people when they're in distress. But when you abrogate that responsibility to the government, it's like, oh, there's a program for that. Well, that program has so much overhead. Look at private charities. I used to own a candle company. I'm a veteran. I did 4 years in the Army. I gave the Operation Homefront 10% of my gross sales. Their operating costs was 8 cents of every dollar went to their overhead. 90 to 92 cents of every dollar I donated went to Backpack Brigade to give soldiers, kids, backpacks and school supplies. Wow. That's what we need to do. We need to stop looking to the government to solve our problems, because inherently the government doesn't want to solve problems because it's not in their interest to do it, because if they solve a problem, guess what? They're out of a job. I want to create solutions that actually work and that are pragmatic and actually can do what we need to have done. Because I think your viewers would agree that we need to feed people, we need to clothe people, we need to shelter people. And I've seen private charities do it a lot more efficiently. In Phoenix, I worked at a mobile food bank on Sundays. It just, because I work for Amazon now, my Saturdays are, I'm working, so I can't do it, but they partnered with St. Mary's Food Bank. Once a month, they would bring half of a semi-refrigerated truck, which is 28 foot, with food that we would donate out to those communities. And it was so cool because we were actually doing hands-on work. We were actually showing that, yes, we can give to a food bank and they in turn give out to the community. There's no hooks of income requirements, all this other garbage that we put in place because it inherently creates people dependent on a government. And this is psychologically true. If I keep you just a little above comfortable, are you ever going to vote against me? Nope. You'll never vote against me. And that's a problem. That's how you create votes, and that's how you create voting blocks, and that's how you monolith people. Because I, as a libertarian, everyone's an individual. And people may take this however they want, but the smallest minority in the world is the individual. If you think about it, we really are. Because no two people are exactly alike. We have different hopes, ambitions, fears. So why do we try to typecast everyone into one group? And say, just because you're African-American, you're Asian. Well, with Asians, you have Chinese, Japanese, Koreans. So they're not all the same. So why do we do that and lump people into groups? Because it makes it easier to control a group that way, when you don't have to worry about the individual within the group. Because the individual is ultimately what makes a group. So, and that's really what it is. And another one is border security. Because we have a huge problem on the border right now, and Democrats and Republicans have failed miserably at handling this. I say, and this is for both sides. We freeze immigration across the border. We process the people into detention centers. 3-year pathway to citizenship. First year, you pass the Constitution test, and at least be able to speak the language of the land to where you can conversate. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be Queen's English, but just be able to conversate to where anyone can understand what you're saying. Then you stay criminal free for 2 years, and on your 3-year anniversary, you raise your right hand and take your oath of citizenship. And then you only have 2 ports of entry in California, 2 in Arizona, 2 in New Mexico, and 4 in Texas. You come through there, we do it like we did at Ellis Island. You come through a legal port of entry, you process still saying 3 years. That takes the organized criminal element out of it, because now you have a legal port of entry. There's no barrier to entry in terms of cost anymore. You substantially reduce the cost to enter, and you substantially reduce the time. And in turn, you make the government more efficient when it comes to border security, and you get the best of both worlds without compromising either. You get a pathway to citizenship, and you get border security, and that's a win-win for everybody.
Certainly,
I mean, that's
certainly. Thanks so
Say that
much.
again?
Thanks. No, I was saying certainly. Thanks so much for sharing all of that. So why are you the best choice for the voters?
because I'm going to be the one that's actually proposing real solutions that are practical and can be implemented. And I'm not going to blue sky and BS you, because I ain't got time for that. And I don't believe in insulting people's intelligence, because that's one thing politicians do, is they insult people's intelligence. They talk down to them. They think less of them. I don't think less of anyone. Everyone is judged equally. How you treat me is how I'm going to treat you. Is very simple. I don't look down. Just because you may not be a political scientist like me, or have a history or economics degree or political science degree, doesn't mean I think you're stupid. Because we all have different skills and abilities in this world. And that's the thing I want to allow people to fully step into, is have the ability to go, I want to do this. I want to start a business. I don't want to have to jump through all these hoops and have to compete against a monopoly that already exists because the government created it. Look at certain industries. Look at the tech industry. It's phenomenal. It became so concentrated and centralized, not because of the free market, but because government. When you have the ability, as Mark Zuckerberg does, Elon Musk, or any other tech billionaire, and I've got nothing against billionaires. They made their money legally. Oh, that's beautiful. I love when people make money. But when you can go to Congress and get laws made that make it harder for startups to get in, what are you doing? You're using the power of government to keep you from having competition. Look at Amazon. They raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour or better. Why did they do that? Think about it for a minute. At the time, Amazon was competing against Walmart Plus, which is basically Walmart's version of Amazon Prime. So if I want to put my competition out of business, because what people don't realize is Amazon, their shipping side is actually a loss leader for them. Where they make their money is AWS, their software, their cloud computing. That's where they make their real money. And that actually funnels in and takes care of the shipping side so that they actually eat some cost on it. But if I increase the cost for my competitor to have to pay $15 an hour, they're less likely to succeed at it. It wasn't because of some altruistic reason. It was a simple business decision. Because if I can afford to eat some costs for a while and make my competition suffer, why wouldn't I do that as a business owner? But they wrap it in altruistic reasons. And that's something I want to tell people is people don't do stuff really for altruistic reasons. When you think about it, everything we do, we get a reward for in our brain. Even if we don't get an external reward, when we help someone, don't we feel better about ourselves?
Many people do, sure, yes.
And when we feel better about ourselves, that's a chemical release in the brain.
Yeah.
So we get a reward for helping people. Even though we may not get a tangible reward or a physical reward, we still get a reward. It still flips in the brain. So that's what it is like I believe in allowing people
by the way, let our viewers know when voting begins in Arizona.
Voting begins, I believe, at the end of October is early voting. Mm-hmm. And that's not until 2022. So that's like a year out. So
yeah, so when's the election? That's let everyone know when the election is as well. So
the election is the first Tuesday in November, and I can't remember what date that is, Ralph. I think it's the 8th. Mm-hmm. I think that's the second Tuesday in November is the 8th, I believe.
And that is 2022.
Yep.
2022. We just want to make sure that we have it clear for the viewers so that they can make sure that they are vote ready in time. And for the viewers, if you want to make sure that you are vote ready and that you are ready to vote, you can text Team Racine to 40649. Once again, that's 40649 to check your status and register to vote. Check your status and register to vote. Jeffrey, how can viewers find out more about you, find out more about your campaign, support, reach out and learn more? How can they go ahead and do that?
All my social media is at Win with Jeff 2022. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Mm-hmm. My email is Jeff_Metrick. Jeff. Hold on. That was my personal email. It's jeff@winwithjeff.us. I forgot to put that on the slide for you. My apologies.
No worries, because we will have the links in the description below so that everyone is able to go ahead and get in contact and get more information.
And my website is currently down. We're rebranding it. So mm-hmm. it's offline for the rest of this week.
All right, no problem.
My team's working on it. But if you wish to donate, you can send me an email to jeff@winwithjeff.us, how much you want to donate, and I can send you an invoice from PayPal, and you can pay it that way through my campaign.
Awesome. We will have that link in the description below, viewers. And when the website is back up, we'll also include that, okay?
Okay.
We'll totally do that. Awesome. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you best of luck on your campaign and the election in 2022. To our viewers, thank you for always watching, and please follow everything on our social media at Team Racine, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Jeffrey, have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. And our viewers, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.